I would take your time to understand the music industry, because talent is, of course, necessary, as is belief and desire and drive and all the things that we know that it takes to get a foot into what is a very difficult industry to get into. But I think there's no substitute for understanding it, really understanding it, from how the collection agencies work, how distribution works, how to market yourself online, how the relationships between the legal and A&R and management, how that all works, and also how to see yourself as the kind of centre of it all. Because without the talent, there is no need for those people. There is no need for the circus around all of that. So I would say to anyone looking to come into the industry, be really sure of who you are and take control of that. And because you are the talent, you are the thing that makes things happen. And the more you understand your place in all of that, the more you can actually control your career. When I look back on my career, I had no control of it. I let my manager decide everything. And I did that because I didn't know. I didn't know the questions to ask. I just went, okay, you know best. But I would say, coming into the modern music industry, you have to know how it works and what you want, and make those things happen for yourself. It does feel like night and day. When I think about, I'm talking about the late 80s, when I was younger, and it was very much a kind of cloaked thing. The idea was that somebody else would make you as a star. These kind of Svengali characters that turned up to your gigs at the back, and it was exciting because someone's come to see you and they're over 40. So it's I remember those days, and again, I didn't know what I was doing really. Squandered a lot of opportunities, I think, because of that. And I think the modern music industry, labels are signing less, everyone's signing less. The money it takes to break an artist is so much more these days. And I think the modern music industry, they don't do that thing where they take people at the very early stages of their development and build them. They want them already having established themselves online, millions of hits and followers on Facebook, and they've built their profiles before they even want to get involved, as it were. So ACM's response to that, I suppose, is to kind of see itself as a development house, doing what the labels used to do, which was take people at the very early stages of their careers and work with them. They see the potential, we see the potential, we work with them, we have the security blanket, if you like, of having that under the structure of education. So there's a time frame, there's it's a 1 year or a 2 year program. So we know we've got them for that period of time, and we can work with them as artists. They make mistakes with us, they try things out with us. We say that's good, we say that maybe isn't, so let's try this, let's try that. And help them build their fan base from the safety, if you like, and the security of an environment like ours. Completely staffed with people who know how the music industry works and can impart that knowledge. So keeping them tucked in as well, and guided, really. Expectations management, we try very hard to work on that with them. They come out so kind of pumped, if you like. They've got everything. They've been working on themselves and their development for 2, 3, 4 years sometimes. They feel commercially ready. They understand everything. They've built their media presence, their repertoire. They built their live set. They're ready to go. And the hardest thing I find is that they have to deal with the expectations, that it's not a linear path. You can't just say, well, I've done everything right, therefore I must. Elements of luck, good fortune, good timings come in, who they meet, how they interact, whether they take advantage of those opportunities. They all have an impact on their chances of success. And also, what is success? How do they define that success? We're very cautious with them and say, from my perspective, success is anyone who makes a lifelong career out of music. To wake up every morning, define yourself as a freelance musician or a musician, writer, producer, work in the music industry, the thing that you've dreamt of since you were very young, to actually be doing that in any form is success as far as I'm concerned. And of course they have their aspirations set quite high emotionally, but we try and make that help them with setting expectations, to say it is a difficult path you've chosen. It's not an insurmountable path, it's not an impossible path, but take baby steps and don't expect to just walk out the door and have the market go, oh, thank goodness you're here. We've been waiting for you to graduate so we can scoop you up. It does happen, but mostly it's a long process for them to take. And that's fine, because they're building stability then. They're building a career that they can build upon. So it's a good thing. I was very involved in the EBAC thing, the EBAC debate, and generally trying to have the right people listen to our concerns. Because if we don't have music at the core of education for young people, where are the future artists, producers, business people going to come from? They've got it's a very long life cycle, it's a very long development cycle. We have students at ACM today who have been thinking about coming here since they were 6 or 7. I kid you not, it's absolutely true. So if you take music out of the culture, you take music out of the mainstream education, without places like ACM, and by the way we do youth programmes and things like that, but without places like ACM that do that, where are they going to get that drive and ambition from? They'll be purely thinking in terms of job prospects, and that's fine. We do need people to do, but we also need people to dream. We need people to create. We need people to make music. And for me, as well as from a commercial point of view, in terms of how we are developing young people through, just as a human being, music is fundamental. And so yes, although we're at the other end in terms of we're higher education and beyond, it's very important to us and me personally that music was retained in schools as a fundamental. Yeah, I would actually. I'd like to see more, I would say this, but more contemporary music brought into schools, more current modern music. I love classical music and I love jazz and I love all these kind of genres from a point of view of completeness. But I think there is something very immediate about rock and pop music. It's the music that students will be hearing on their iPods, on their radios, and in our experience, if you give them something that's very accessible to them, if you give them something that's familiar, their adoption rate of music is much higher. It just clicks with them quicker. And when you put a guitar or a bass or drums in front of that age group, it lights them up, it really does. And I know it's a funding thing, not all schools can have a full band and things like that, and there's limitations there. But if I had a wish, if I could put some pixie dust on it, I'd say I'd love to see more modern music taught in schools, and really try and grab those kids' passion, if you like, from the earliest possible age, so that they choose music as a path. That would be my wish.